Welcome back, nerds and noobs, to another episode of the Help Desk Diaries. This episode is all about reading between the lines. Have you ever been told the internet is down, but it's really just that a cable was loose? Yeah. Today I'm going to be discussing how important it is to understand and read into users, especially what they say versus what they mean. Truth is, working in IT, half your job will be translating what people think is happening into what is actually happening. Soft skills are the most important thing when it comes to IT, and I'm not saying that women are better at it, but I've found that we have more compassion and understanding when it comes to users. The other day, Fix-It Felix was telling me to just remote in for an issue. I didn't think needed remoting in, but rather just needed translating from user language to tech language. So I said to him, I bet this user actually means they need to be added to this permission group, and this needs to be done on our end. He wasn't so sure because the user phrased it in a way to make us think there was something wrong with his PC. He said something like, I can't access this specific app because my computer is too slow. I told Fix-It Felix I knew this user and his computer is just fine. Turns out I was right. So I added him to the permissions group for that app and told him to sign in and out, and it was working again. So sometimes the issue is really just the user's jargon and knowing them enough to be able to read between the lines. And, this will come with time as you work on the job. In saying this, I was chatting to one of my co-workers, let's call her the Queen of Solutions, because she's incredible at creating step-by-step fixes for reoccurring problems, the kind that could help any noob on the planet learn IT. I'm serious, they're amazing. And basically we were talking about how important it is to really get to know your users. Sure, it's one thing to remote in and help someone, but meeting them in person, getting to know their habits, their mannerisms, and putting a face to their name really helps. Plus, I find it makes them like you more. So, it's all important when it comes to decoding users' vague language, or even the opposite to all my super users out there. I love you. Us telling them restart your PC when they've already done that won't troubleshoot shit. They've already done that because they have some common sense, and if we met them, got to know them a bit, we'd know that and be able to help them more efficiently without asking these easier questions first. So, yes, I value my users and appreciate the effort they put in to describe symptoms, not causes. These aren't just dumb questions or comments they're talking about. They all reveal pieces of information to the issue that they're experiencing. We just need to understand them better. And I'll always stand by this saying, patience and curiosity matter way more than IT jargon in IT. The amount of times I've used patience and curiosity over actual IT knowledge is incredible. It's pretty much my whole job, and those certificates did help me understand IT way better, but understanding people is a different thing. Here are some examples of reading between the lines. You guys can comment if you've heard these before or experienced them at least. My screen is frozen. Well, that equals their RAM is being fully used or their Teams is lagging. The internet is broken. That could mean a website won't load or a cable is loose. I didn't change anything. They installed malware last night by downloading MP3 files off a dodgy site just for their favorite music. The printer isn't working. We all know this one. There's no paper left. Emails are down. You typed the wrong email address in. My screen is black. My screen is black. My screen is black. The monitor is simply turned off. The amount of times I've had this issue, why is this such a big issue that people don't understand that their monitor is off? Also, why do people confuse a computer and a monitor? They're two completely different things. And the buttons aren't even the same spot. So please, can someone advise me? Like, what's going on with the users here? My computer is slow. Their computer has been running for 45 days. That's why it's slow. My computer is still slow. They haven't run updates for a whole year. Please run your updates, people. I am sick and tired of remoting in, having to update your computer because you don't want to spend 10 minutes restarting and updating your computer at the end of the day. If you leave them, I'm going to have to remote in eventually and do them for you because your computer's running slow and you're wondering why your computer is running slow. And I'm sitting there, half an hour updating all these updates, and it's just like, can you just do them in your own time? It's not that hard, and I understand it takes time, but it's going to take more time if I'm going to have to remote in and find out that your updates haven't been through and you haven't run them. So please do that. My keyboard and mouse are broken. They either forgot to put batteries in their wireless keyboard and mouse, or they've unplugged the cable to put in their USB. I can't log in. Probably the most famous saying of all time when it comes to user issues. That usually means they've forgotten their password or they're locked out. Now, these are all assumptions, so don't take them word for word. I'll get into this later. But I hope you enjoyed those because they certainly sound like music to my ears every time I hear them. Anyway, either way, we need to get better at translating those statements. So I've come up with a few little takeaways and mini practical tips for those of us in tech. Number 1, ask clarifying questions. Can you walk through what you saw or did when the issue occurred? What do you mean by XYZ? When did the problem start happening? Are you the only one experiencing the issue? Guys, that last one has saved me so many times when users have said, the internet is down, and I've had a mini panic attack. Definitely use that last one. Number 2, never, ever assume. Even with users you do know, which kind of goes against what I said earlier now that I'm thinking about it. Just never assume they actually restarted the PC unless you 100% know this user is a super user. What's that saying? Never assume because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. You know what? I might make a whole episode about assuming. The amount of times I assumed things when I first started is ridiculous. I would always be corrected by mic check to stop assuming users know what they are talking about. Anyway, moving on. Number 3, learn user habits. This will give you an inside edge on what they are trying to say to you without assuming. If you learn the user's habits, you'll know that they didn't restart their PC. Number 4, build trust over time. This ties in with number 3. When you do get to know a user better, you'll naturally build trust with them over time, and maybe one day they might become a super user who you can trust will restart their PC before further troubleshooting. With all the help you've given them over the months when they've called you to unlock them from their PC, they might actually remember their password, and your hope is restored in humanity. So at the end of the day, working in the help desk is really just 90% communication, 10% tech. Maybe 80% communication, 20% tech. Whatever. You can come up with that statistic yourself. That's my statistic. So if you can translate user speech into text speech, you can solve problems faster, make users feel heard, etc. Listening is the key though. Not only in IT, but life as well. So I advise you all to read in between the lines. In IT, in relationships, in life, in everything. Yeah, just listen. Listen to your friends. They know what they're talking about. Anyway, that's all for today, nerds and noobs. I'll catch you in the queue. Bye.